Hey Credit Warriors, Credit Shifu here, and in this video we are going to be talking about how to book business class flight awards to Europe from the US East Coast. We're going to be going from Newark, New York to various European destinations using United miles, so flights on United itself and also on partner airlines. But first of all, we need to accumulate United miles. Where are we going to get those from? Well, there are several sources. Obviously, you can get them from flying, but that's not the quickest way to accumulate airline miles, as most people who are savvy with credit cards know. So you could get a United credit card. There are several on offer from Chase. Some have reasonable sign-up bonuses. You can also transfer miles to United from Chase Ultimate Rewards points at a 1-to-1 ratio, and you can transfer from Marriott as well. Marriott has like over 40 airline transfer partners. You can transfer from Marriott at a 3-to-1.1 ratio. It's a bit of a weird transfer ratio there, but anyway, that's the deal, 3-to-1.1. It sounds bad, but Marriott points, remember, they are worth less than Chase points. Now, you may have heard the news that United is doing away with its award chart and it's bringing in dynamic award pricing. That will be coming in from November 15th, 2019, okay? And in general, that's probably going to be a worse deal for the consumer. I'm sure there'll be some ways still to maximize it, but in general, it's a worse deal. But until then, until November 15th, 2019, you can still book using the old way, which is 60,000 points for United flights in business class from US East Coast to Europe, or 70,000 points for partner airlines, okay? So other Star Alliance airlines. Now, using United's website to search is probably the best way to do this. You can use Expert Flyer to search for award availability too, but actually United's website has some really good tools and you can search on all partner airlines as well. So I recommend just using United's website. Make sure that if you have the United credit card, you are logged in, because United credit card holders get access to some extra Saver award availability space that people who are just normal members or who are not members wouldn't get access to. And what we are looking for is Saver Award. Okay, if you look for just everyday business class awards, it's about 155,000 United miles to go to Europe one way. That is a total ripoff. It's a waste of your points. So you're looking for 60 and 70,000 point awards, at least in the way that it's priced right now. Okay, and it's called Saver Business Class Awards. The good thing about United website is that you can look for a whole month view and you can see what awards, what prices are on which day. So you can see many of these days you'll get the basic, the everyday award, which is like over 150,000 points, but then you'll get a few Saver awards and the lowest prices will be highlighted in green and you can click into those days. So you can look at a whole month. I do recommend searching for one-way tickets because you're much more likely to be able to find award availability with one-way flights. And the cool thing about Europe is Europe has a lot of cheap airlines, okay? It's like EasyJet, Ryanair, to name a couple of them from the UK and Ireland. And you can get flights for like $20, $30. So to be honest, you don't need to go to Europe and go, get there and then depart from the same airport. You could arrive in, say, Lisbon, Portugal, and depart from Geneva, Switzerland, and you could just get a one-way, very cheap, EasyJet or another cheap airline flight between them. To get from your destination to the airport that you're actually going to leave from. And to be honest, if that means the difference between you flying business class there and back, you have to pay like 30, 40 bucks for a cheap one-way flight on a very cheap airline, I would do it. I think that's a great way. You can also search for flights with stops as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. So first we'll talk about booking business class awards on United itself. Now, you may have heard that United is bringing in their new Polaris business class product. Now, if you look at awards to Europe, okay, from EWR, Newark Airport in New York, you will see it listed as Polaris. However, it is likely that this will not be the full Polaris hard product, okay, the actual Polaris seat. It may just be the soft product with the bedding, the little teddy bear, the cushions, the food, and the Polaris lounge, okay? So it's not guaranteed, all right? And you can actually have a look at this tool on United's website, the Polaris Tracker, which shows you how many of their planes have been, or what percentage of the fleet has been converted to the full Polaris product. So they've taken delivery of these 777-300ER aircraft. all of them are the new Polaris, but they're not flying them to Europe. They're going to Asia and other places. So when you look at these awards to Europe, it'll often be the 767-200 or maybe the 777-300, and you can see the number of planes that have been converted. So for the 767, it's just 37% of the fleet. 777-200, it's 41%. For the 787 Dreamliner 10, it's 43% of them that have been delivered so far. Those are brand new planes. So from this, you can kind of work out what the probability is of you actually getting the proper Polaris hard product. Otherwise, it's just going to be the soft product with the older style seat, which isn't that good. It's still a fully flat bed, but it's not that great. However, by the end of 2020, all planes will be converted. So if you're watching this video sometime in the future, sometime, mid 2020 or towards late 2020, the chances of you getting the actual full hard product are, much higher, or even 100% if it's the end of 2020. As for the Polaris lounges as well, you can also have a look at the lounge tracker on the website. We're going to be doing all of these example award tickets from EWR, Newark Airport in New York. That's United's hub here. It's actually in New Jersey, but it serves New York City. And indeed, there is a Polaris lounge at EWR Airport. They've got this nice little video showing you what it looks like. It does look very, very nice. So you will get a Polaris lounge if you book Polaris business class to Europe from Newark. So first of all, let's have a look at some awards. So we've searched EWR to London, all airports. So I always do all airports, not a specific airport if there's that option, okay? Because it gives you more chance of finding award availability, or you may not know which airport they're flying to, like London, Gatwick, or Heathrow, and to save you looking it up, you might as well just do all airports, and then the right one will come up. It costs 60,000. So like we said, United, their own awards are 60,000 points, and then you add on to that taxes and fees, which in this case are $80 US. Now that's much, much cheaper than British Airways, because if you booked British Airways, it would only cost you 50,000 points in off-peak, which you can normally get off-peak. It's quite a lot of time is off-peak, but it would cost you several $100s, maybe about $400 or so one way, in taxes and fees. So you're saving like probably $300, $350 in taxes and fees by going with United rather than British Airways, even though it's slightly more miles. It's about 10,000 more miles. If you search flights to London and you see lower taxes and fees, like this one, it's just $12 taxes and fees, that most likely is going to be a connecting flight. So in this case, yes, it is. You first fly to Ireland, and then that's on United, and then there is a connecting flight with Aer Lingus to London. So that's another option you can do. Fly to Ireland on United, lower taxes and fees, and then connect on to London. United also fly to Geneva, Switzerland. There's some reasonable award availability on that route as well. So EWR to GVA, and that's the same price, 60,000 plus $80 thereabouts in taxes and fees. Now let's look at some partner airlines. So there's quite a lot of award availability on TAP Air Portugal. Obviously flying to Portugal, and then either that's your destination or you can connect on to other cities. And their taxes and fees are very low. Typically it's just $5.60. So have a look at these options. 70,000 points to go to either Lisbon or Porto, and then plus $5.60 in taxes and fees. And so obviously because it's a partner airline, it's 70,000 rather than 60,000. And you can also do this as a connecting flight as well. So let's say you wanted to go to London Gatwick. It's still going to be the same price in miles. You have to connect in Portugal and then go on to London on another plane. So the price in miles is the same, 70,000, but the taxes are going to be a little bit more. In this case, it's going to be $26 just because there's higher taxes when flying from Portugal to London, but it's nowhere near as high as it would be flying from the US direct to London, which is $80, or US direct to London on British Airways, which is even more. You also have some quite good award availability on Lufthansa, another Star Alliance partner, and you can fly to Munich for 70,000 miles, plus just $5.60 in taxes and fees. And then there are numerous other itineraries you can do that would be flying to Munich first and then connecting on to other cities, most likely for slightly more in taxes and fees, but then just the same price in miles. We'll now have a look at Zurich, Switzerland. So you can take business class on Swiss International Airlines to Zurich for 70,000 miles plus $5.60 in taxes and fees. And I actually flew on this product from Zurich to Tel Aviv. It was part of an itinerary from London, change planes in Zurich, and then a 4.5-hour flight to Tel Aviv, Israel. This is a very nice business class product. I thoroughly recommend it. It's the only one out of these that I've actually tried. So yeah, it's a fully flat bed. The plane has like a cappuccino machine. The food is reasonable, not 5-star, but like still good, reasonable for business class. So I would recommend Swiss Airlines, and you can book it through United as a partner award for 70,000 points. And then the last one I'm going to talk about is Warsaw in Poland. You can go on LOT, Polish Airlines. I'm not sure whether it's LOT or LOT, whatever. And that's for 70,000 plus $5.60 in taxes and fees. And there's not very much award availability on this one, actually. I just found one example of it, but it is one you can get for those lower amount of taxes and fees, just $5.60. So there you go, guys. Those are a few examples of awards that you can take with United Miles, a few examples on United itself, and then a few examples with partner airlines. Some of the best award availability I found was on TAP, Portugal, and also Lufthansa, and then also on United itself. But you can play around with it. I'll put on screen now all the airlines that fly to Europe, okay? So the ones circled are the ones that actually fly to Europe from the US. And what you can do is, if you want to know if there's award space on one of those airlines, you just search the capital city of the country that that airline comes from, and you'll very quickly be able to find out whether there's award space or not. Remember to use the month view, so you want it, toggle to month view, set this to business class, otherwise it often defaults to economy. And yeah, so those are a few tips for using the United website. Make sure you're signed in, especially if you have the United credit card, because you get a little bit extra Saver award space. Make sure you are going for Saver award tickets, not the normal business class award tickets, because those cost a lot more, double the price normally, and you'd be throwing away your points in that case, unless you just had a huge number of points and you didn't really care. So, there is that option. And you can also remember that you don't necessarily have to arrive and depart from the same city, because Europe does have very, very good cheap airlines such as EasyJet that you can book tickets for literally $30, $35, $40 to get from where you are to the airport you need to depart from. So those are a few tips for booking United from the US to Europe in business class. Please leave more tips below, guys. If you've taken good flights, if you've done something that I haven't mentioned in this video, please leave tips for people in the comments. We'll put some of our favorite travel credit cards in the descriptions below, and some of them will be ones that you can earn United miles from. For example, the Chase Sapphire cards can transfer to United, so those cards will be in the selection below. Obviously, it is an affiliate link, helps out the show. If you want to see advertiser disclosure, it's at the bottom of the description section of this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.